Hello, hello there. My name is Murray. I'm with my co-host Corey, and we are the Real Guys. This is Siren Radio, and this is the Real Show with two E's. The music you just heard was "One of a Kind" by Breaking Points, which was the theme song to the One Wrestler Rob Van Dam, aka RVD. We've got a packed show for you today for this very special broadcast because every broadcast is special to us. We are your number one platform on the airwaves for YouTube, pop culture, film, and television discussion. As always, I'm accompanied by my co-host Corey. How are you doing today, Corey?
I am doing glorious, Murray.
Wonderful, glorious indeed. Today is a very unique episode. I think you agree.
Yeah.
It's something that we've been doing on our YouTube channel for quite a while now, haven't we?
Yeah, we've been dabbling. Bit dabbling.
Yes, we've been dabbling in it. This is also a part one of a two-part Real Show exclusive special. Part one of this Real Show broadcast will be happening here on the airwaves, on radio, on Siren Radio Station. However, part two of this Real Show will be going up on our YouTube channel, which is simply called The Real Show, I believe. Is that true?
That is correct.
Good. So let the listener in on what we're going to be talking about for the next 45 minutes or so.
Yeah. So obviously it's wrestling, right? We mentioned this last week on The Real Show. We're doing a wrestling episode, grandest stage and more, Wrestlemania. I believe I said in that episode, essentially just think back to your Hogans, your Rock. That's what we're on about right now. Obviously, new generation. Actually, it's the first time in 33 years, I think, since Taker, Michaels, and Triple H have not been at a WrestleMania. As a fun fact for you.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you, because they won't shut up about it. It's been 1 year, 1 month, and 1 day since we've had fans return to WrestleMania. So why don't we just kick off by starting with all of that, and just talk about how the atmosphere felt in watching this. Obviously, we weren't at Tampa Bay, Florida, which is where it was held.
We were in our living rooms.
Yes, we were.
All right, was anyway.
Well, however, things didn't start so peachy keen with WrestleMania 37.
No.
Right away, there was a weather warning for thunderstorms, which happens, Florida. It's like that. It's on the coast.
Yeah, things got a little bit delayed.
Yeah, got a little bit delayed. Initially, there were talks of it being an hour, of it being half an hour, but it turned out to be just 10, 15 so minutes.
Yeah, somewhere near there.
Yeah, God was getting his own back from that 2006 pay-per-view with Vince McMahon, wasn't it?
Nice reference there. I'm sure people are going to get that.
Thank you. I think I actually said that to you on the day.
You might have done.
But was it Battlegrounds?
Yes.
I think so. It was either Battlegrounds or SummerSlam. I think it was Battlegrounds 2006.
Yes, question mark.
When Vince McMahon fought God. Anyway, passing over that, we will. There was a short delay. We had a couple of promos, which it was weird that it took a weather delay to get some actual live unscripted promos from people. Don't you think?
Yeah, they don't let people do that very often, unfortunately.
Yeah, but I love the opening. They got Beba Rexha, who was a great artist, to come out and sing "America the Beautiful," which I think is vastly superior to actually the national anthem.
Yeah, I preferred it.
They had all the roster lined up. Everyone looked amazing. Vince was there in his suit.
Even people who weren't actually there to wrestle. Hello, Jinder Mahal.
Yeah, because I saw like Jinder Mahal and Mia Yim were back there.
Yeah, it's like they're there. They're not on the show, but they're there.
But they're there in their gear, like they were wrestling, or like they were going to wrestle. It was weird. Maybe they just had them in their gear for just, I don't know, to feel like it.
Yeah.
So, yeah. It was really emotional, though, to see all the fans back after so long in this horrifying, fear-inducing pandemic. It was nice to see people in the stadium. Everybody was back. The green shirt guy was back. He was always on the front row.
He's always there.
Did you clock him and the green shirt guy being there?
I was watching a live stream of someone also watching it, and they mentioned he was there. So
green shirt guy was there. I think Red Hat guy or something like that was there as well.
Yeah.
Red Hat guy was there. So all the regular fans who always get front row seats for some weird reason were there as well. I'd also like to mention that this is Real Show episode 27, and we are talking about WrestleMania 37.
Yes, I was going to mention that, and I completely forgot until right now.
Oh, well, there you go. So there you are. It's nice. We've come sort of full circle with this. We started doing pro wrestling on our YouTube channel. and now we're bringing it to the airwaves, bringing it to Sign Radio, bringing it to the Real Show, which is a nice little circular narrative we've got going.
Yeah.
So of course Vince gets everybody out there. He says, welcome to WrestleMania, or that's how he talks.
Nice impression there.
Thank you. God damn it! Welcome to WrestleMania. Welcome to WrestleMania, everybody. It's great. He sounds like such, he's Mr. No Chance, Mr. Vinnie Mac.
There's going to be a lot of impressions in these episodes, I can already tell.
Yeah, I think there will be. You're going to bust out your Hulk Hogan, aren't you, again?
Hogan, Macho Man's not there, but he's probably going to come out at some point.
Yeah, so...
Why not?
We had Vince and everybody, I think Stephanie, and... Was Stephanie up there as well?
Probably.
I know Shane was. I know Shane was there, because Shane has a match.
Yes, Stephanie was at NXT, so I'm going to assume she was at Mania as well.
Oh, right, okay. And Roman, did you see Roman's suit? He looked so baller.
Mm.
Roman looked like a real slick dude. He had his hair all slicked back. He's wearing that nice pinstripe suit. He looks great,
Almost more baller than an MVP.
They had him up on the front row. It was cool to see sort of the main event people on the front row of that line. Like Daniel Bryan was there, Edge was there, Rhea Ripley was there. They were all just all the people who were in the main events just lined up, and I like that in the roster.
Yeah.
So then we move on to the actual match. Shall we start off with the matches, or shall we start off with the host? Who is hosting this prestigious, the grandest stage of them all this year?
So, first, out comes Mr. Titus O'Neil, Warrior Award
the Slipmaster
winner.
himself.
Yes. Mr. Titus World Slide, the Warrior Award winner of 2020, I believe. I think he got it for 2020. He's one of the hosts. There's two hosts, just like the Real Show. There's two hosts for Mania as well. So he comes out, he does something, and then all of a sudden, he was announced to be the host anyway. But Hogan's music starts playing.
I am a real American.
And out comes Mr. Hogan.
Out comes Mr. Hulk Hogan himself. Oh yeah, no, you have to do it.
You were about to do Macho Man, weren't you?
I was about to do Macho Man's. Oh yeah, you have to do Hulk Hogan. I'll tell you something, brother.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. That's the Hogan thing, isn't it? It's like, oh, what you doing, brother? It's WrestleMania 37. He always says brother. It says brother everything.
Brother, what you gonna do, brother, when WrestleMania runs wild on you?
I can't actually remember any of his promo, but he did.
No, I just remember saying. That. What you gonna do, brother?
He does this whole thing. Hulkamaniacs. He says that. Normal stuff. Titus mentions, it's not one night, but it's 2 nights. Well, hey, again, that was announced anyway.
Yeah.
So they do their thing. Great to see them. I love Titus. Very good.
Yeah. Who do you think we're like? Think you're more of a Titus, or I'm more of the Hogan?
I'll take that.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe I'm more of the Titus. I don't know.
I mean, I don't know. Who's more? It depends. Whose promo style fits more? Who's more of like the what you gonna do, and who's more of like the hurrah, 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 which is Titus's thing.
No, I think I'm more Hogan.
Yeah.
I'm all the loud.
We'll go with that. We'll go with that.
And then we're just gonna skip past any mention of any possible scandal involving Hulk Hogan that we're not gonna mention.
No, but I mean, I didn't mind him. Night 2, he said he had bad hips. I found that funny. It's the funniest thing he said in the whole
He was
night.
calling people scallywags.
Yeah, he was.
There's a pirate-themed WrestleMania. I haven't mentioned that yet. It's a pirate-themed WrestleMania, just like last year.
Yes.
But this year they're doing it again because, what's better than the original? A sequel. Another pirate WrestleMania.
Yeah, those are, yeah. But yeah, they were right. They come out, they introduce it. Again, delay is still kind of happening at this point, and then finally, the first match starts.
Yes, well, let's go to the matches now. Let's actually talk about the meat of WrestleMania. You want to see world-class, talented wrestlers doing talented wrestling. Yeah. So let's go to the matches. Who's kicking off the show? Now, I appreciate the big match to kick off the show.
Yes.
It's good to get the crowd hype. Crowds are back in. Crowds are back in Raymond James Stadium.
Yeah.
It's good to see them. The WWE Universe, as they're called, has come back together, and we're starting off with a big match.
Yeah, it was announced before Mania, the main event and the starting match, which was to start off. It was the WWE Championship match. It was Drew versus Lashley. I've also heard reports...
Drew McIntyre and Bobby Lashley, for those unaware.
I also heard reports that apparently this went on first because Drew wanted to be the first person to walk out when there's a crowd, apparently. Which he was. I believe it. No, he did come out first.
Yes, he did.
I mean, this was... It's one of the better matches of the night. It's a great way to start off a show.
It was amazing. It's good to get the hard hitting matches in. Hype up the crowd.
Exactly.
Get them in the mood.
There's been a delay, right? There's been a delay. People have been waiting. What's the one thing that's going to get him hype? It's two big men stopping me.
Yeah, two big men, big muscles, big chests, wet, getting all slippery and wet in the ring, and beating each other up. That's what you want to see. That's what
they wanted to see, and that's what they saw.
Yeah. So let's go over these guys. We've got Drew McIntyre, who's the Scottish... They don't call him the Scottish psychopath anymore. I don't think they can say the word psychopath. They call him the Scottish warrior, or the Scottish warrior.
Yes, because he's got a sword.
Yes, he's got a big claymore sword. He has the claymore kick. That's his finishing move.
Yeah, and then he got Bobby Lashley, who's like... He essentially is just like... You have the mob boss, which is MVP. And then you have Lashley.
He's part of the Hurt Business.
Exactly. Lashley is the muscle.
Yeah, Lashley's like... You got this group called the Hurt Business. They're these two mean dudes now because they broke up last week.
They're a duo now.
They're a duo now. They're the Hurt duo. They're the Hurt Business. You've got MVP. He's like the mob boss. He's the guy who's in charge. And then you've got Bobby Lashley, and he's the champ. He's the WWE champion. Yes. He's like a big, huge wall of muscle man. He's really strong. He's really big. He's really scary. So, and the match kicks off. It's a pretty decent bout. I'd say it's a real nice, as I said, hard hitting fight that's good to kick off. Good to kick off the show.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought it was great. The finish was good.
Yeah, but Drew McIntyre kept trying to set up the Claymore kick. He kept trying to move around Lashley. He gets him in the wrist lock or whatever. Keeps trying to position him for the Claymore kick, but every time MVP will save him, or Bobby Lashley will do some kind of dodge, get out of the way. I like that as well. Another thing I appreciated was the fact that it's clear that MVP is still in on the action in some way.
Yeah.
I don't like it when the manager sort of stays out of the way or whatever. I like it when MVP gets in there and Drew McIntyre jumps over the ropes and takes them both out on the floor.
Yeah, it's good when a manager gets involved. I quite like it.
So how did this match? How did this match come to a close?
Yeah, so we're doing a thing, and Bobby locks on the Hurt Lock, which is his finisher.
And also, leave it to Bobby Lashley to make a full Nelson hold, which is normally pretty weak.
Yes.
Normally can't do, but it's like a wear down hold.
Yeah.
But Bobby Lashley is like he could break your head off with that.
Yeah, and so he gets him in the Hurt Lock, right, the full Nelson, and Drew is not going anywhere. So he has this cunning plan, right? Which is if you're a fan of wrestling, it's the thing that people do to get out of it. He goes to the turnbuckle, to the corner of the ring, and he essentially tries to get the pin by putting his legs up the turnbuckle, pushing Lashley on the floor. However, doesn't quite work out because Lashley essentially rolls with it and just gets him back in the Hurt Lock.
Yeah, gets him back in the Hurt Lock and makes him go unconscious by way of strongman power.
Yes, Drew passes out, which causes Lashley to win.
To win, yes. By a technical submission, so I believe you call it in the business.
Yes. Exactly. Lashley wins. He's still good champion. Drew did not tap out, so he still looks good.
Yeah, he still looks good. He still looks strong. I think there's an element of, when you're tapping out, you're giving up. Yeah. And it's true that Drew did not give up.
No.
Drew kept fighting till the end. He proved himself to be a strong competitor. He carried the company throughout the pandemic era. He was like the champion. He fought everybody. He was like, "Oh, nobody can defeat me. What kind of voice is that?" He goes, I'm trying to do my Scottish. But I'm Drew McIntyre. Nobody can defeat me.
I mean, you're.
It's vaguely American, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'll just leave it. Real rating. We're going to give you a real rating. What's yours?
Match rating. Out of 10, I would.
Yeah, 10 reels. We're going to do it. It's a real match rating.
I'd give it a 7. I think.
Okay. That was good. I like that.
Yeah.
I was happy with the match. I think it did very well. It did what it's supposed to do: hype the crowd, get everybody into it, get everybody in the mood. I'm gonna go for 8. Oh. I'm either an 8 or an 8.5. I'll go for an 8. Just I don't think an 8.5 is a bit too high for the start. I'll go for an 8.
That's fair.
I'll go for an 8 reels.
Well, there we go. That's the first match done, ticked off. What came next?
Right. Next is the match that I saw the least of because my stream crashed.
Yeah.
But we've got it's called the Tag Team Turmoil match.
Yes.
It's a women's match. We have Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler, who are the tag team champions. They're like, oh, we've defeated everybody. We're so strong and blah blah. And so what they need to do is they put together the tag division and the women's tag division, and they're like, right, you all guys can fight, and then the winner of this big tag team match will come and face us on the second night. Right? Yeah. Everyone's thinking, oh, good. This is a good chance to put some people in the forefront, to put some people, give some people a chance, show off the skills. It's good for everybody. It's wins all round because people get more exposure. People get to show off what they can do. It's good. It's a good plan. Yeah.
And well, thankfully, I saw this match the whole way through.
Yes.
And yeah, it's an elimination basis. 2 teams start, one gets eliminated, one comes in. Simple stuff.
Mm-hmm.
What I remember from this match, essentially, Carmella and Billie Kay start, and Lana and Naomi start, and Lana and Naomi are eliminated first, because Lana goes for a nope. Yeah, Carmella says it assists a pin. She's outside the ring. There's a pin going in the ring, and then she puts her feet on the back so that like it's harder for the other person to kick out. Bang! There we go. Naomi is out. Done. And then it's Dana Brooke and Mandy Rose.
Yes.
Again.
Also to mention that it had been raining quite viciously during the weather delay, and before the rain cleared, it made the ramp and it made the ringside quite slippery, quite wet. So slippery, in fact, that the commentary for the first couple matches were forced to stand effectively at ringside.
Yeah.
Not on their chairs at their desks because the chairs were wet and their desk was wet.
Yeah. So they enter up, and I believe it's Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke who get the pin.
Yes, there's also Mandy Rose that slips down the ramp.
Yes, she does.
Bless her.
Not the only
she takes a bit of a tumble, and Dana Brooke does not clock it at all. No, because you wouldn't, because you're in front of them.
Yeah.
And Dana Brooke just keeps on walking, and Mandy just falls over, which is I thought was quite funny. I know it's not funny to laugh at somebody's botch, but they're trying their best. But I just thought it was fun. You do a little slip, and I think Randy made fun of it in his match on night 2. But we'll discuss that on our YouTube video.
Yeah, so they get a win. In comes the Riot Squad. Again, the problem with this match is it's essentially just every team gets like a couple minutes to do their thing, and then they're eliminated. And the next team comes in, they do a couple minutes to do their thing, they get eliminated. So Riot Squad are in.
Yeah, you wanted more. Did you want more? Do you want more sticking power from these?
Well, so the Riot Squad get the pinfall, and out comes a Tyra Tamina. And out of all the match, this is where it essentially is the best that it is. It's the final parts, right? There's 2 teams left. They're in the ring, and you're thinking, oh, who's going to win? Who's got the pinfall? Riot Squad have been in the match longer than Tyra Tamina have. They're tired out. They're hurt. They're clawing at it. And then the ending comes, which is Natalya does one of Jim Neidhart's moves, and she could go for the pin, and she doesn't. She decides not to. She's like, no, what? I'm going to tag in Tamina. Tamina, you're going to jump off the top rope. Right? Also,
the crowd. I did manage to watch the finish of this match when my stream came back, and the crowd were really, really hot on Tamina.
Yeah.
I was like, how has Tamina gotten so over in the past few hours, in the past few minutes or whatever?
So Tamina goes up, she gets the tag, and then like normally this is where like she'd go for the jump, she'd miss, and then they'd lose the match. But nope, she hits it. Mm-hmm. She hits it, she gets a 1, 2, 3, right? Surprise upset. I wanted the Riot Squad. I kind of thought Lana would get it just because of the whole like she's not won a match in ages. She's the underdog. Maybe she'll win.
Mm-hmm.
Nope. Tamina and Tyra get it. They move on to night 2 to then go face for the tag team championships, women's tag team championships. My only issue with the match
What do you think of the winners of this match, Talia and Tamina? Then
I feel like, as far as story goes, it kind of makes sense. They're both the longest in the business, so they've got the experience over everyone else. They also came in last to the match, so they're the fresher faces.
Yeah, it's like the Royal Rumble strategy, isn't it? You turn up later, more chance of winning.
So that made sense. I would have preferred if it was someone like the Riot Squad, who like haven't had, who are a tag team, have been a tag team for ages, and haven't had a chance at the belts yet. Mm-hmm. But I didn't mind it. It was okay. But I wish the match was either longer or less competitors, though.
Well, it was the. I'll tell you, it was the fourth longest of the night. Fourth longest, I think.
Yeah.
Because I remember that the match we've just had was slightly longer by about 4 minutes.
Yeah.
But what is your real match rating for the tag team turmoil match?
I would give it. This might sound a bit harsh. Depending on what you give it, this might make me sound really harsh.
Right. Okay, go on then.
I'm going to give it a 4 out of 10.
A 4. I was going to give it a 5.5 or a 6.
I was thinking 5, but I was like, in my head, this is a below average match, so I'll give it
a 4.
I'll
go for a 5.5 then, and I'll just say that I agree.
Okay, that's fair enough.
Next, we have one of your favourites, Seth Rollins, against Cesaro.
Yes.
Now, this is just a bog standard singles match.
Yeah, just a match.
But this is over emotional stakes, and I like that. I'm very I'm always invested when there's emotional stakes, not just in like a championship match, not just in like a gimmick match, but in just a singles match. They're purely fighting this out to see who is the best, to see who deserves the most.
Yeah.
So what's the backstory? There's a little bit of backstory to this. So what would you say to these two competitors, Seth and Cesaro?
Yeah. So Seth's been doing this gimmick, this story, where like he is the Messiah, right? People should follow him and listen to him because he can lead them to victories, right? Mm-hmm. He can unleash their potential, and they will be a champion if they listen to Seth. Seth is very well accomplished in wrestling. He's been the world champion. He's been IC champion, I believe. He's been tag team, I believe. Like, he's done a lot. He's won essentially most of the belts that there is. He could have won. So he's very high up, very good at what he does. So he's like, okay, right, you follow me, and I will get you a championship belt. Now, he came back recently. His wife, was it wife or was it his partner? I can't actually remember. But they just had a kid. So he was away. Came back at the Rumble. And he came back and did this speech on SmackDown where he's like, right, bring out all the locker room. And he's essentially just saying, like, anyone who follows my vision will, do great things, and I will help you along the way. And then everyone walks off except for Cesaro.
Mm-hmm.
And then Seth thinks, okay, cool, I know you would listen. You're smart. And then Cesaro essentially walks off, starting this feud about how Cesaro doesn't need Seth, and he thinks Seth's, talking nonsense. Seth's getting annoyed because he doesn't see his vision. He doesn't believe in the vision. And Seth's like, Cesaro's never won. He's never had a singles match at Mania on his own, and he doesn't think you can't do it. You can't win at Mania.
Cesaro's disrespect Seth Rollins. That was the word they were using a lot.
Yeah.
So the match heads out. We get Seth. Seth always looks good. I always like the look of Seth.
Yeah.
He just looks so cocky, so self-assured. He's just like, yeah, I'm the Monday Night Messiah, whatever he says, the Friday Night Messiah.
It's Friday now because he's on SmackDown.
Yeah, and he's got that cool jacket. He wears that cool red jacket. That looks cool. Have I said the word cool enough? He goes out pretty fair, standard match.
Yeah.
Nothing too much to shout about, apart from the fact when Cesaro's using this. He's got this new sort of. He's got this new move now where he picks you up and he swings you around loads and loads and loads of times, dizzying you, and then throws you down to the canvas.
Yeah, well, so like Cesaro's thing is the swing, Right?
Yeah, they call him the Swiss Superman. He's super strong.
Yes.
He's super resilient. He's got super stamina.
Yeah, so what he'll do is he'll get you on the floor, he'll pick up your legs and swing around by the legs, right? Easy stuff.
Yeah.
He did it, I think, was it like 22 times to Seth on SmackDown. And Seth was like, "All right, that's too many. You know, you've done it that's the most you've done it to anyone else. You're disrespecting me because you've not done it to that extent to anyone else." He's like, "I'm doing it on purpose. He's swinging me around that much on purpose."
Yeah, it was 21. What he did it on SmackDown. It was 21 times, wasn't it?
Yeah, on the pay-per-view, he did it to 23. He also did the other swing, which is called the UFO, which is where he essentially puts you on his head and then swings you around.
He do, yes.
Which is great. I love that. He takes his hands away and you're just spinning it. It looks fantastic.
Both these guys are tremendous workers. They really are.
And this whole match, it was essentially just about how Cesaro didn't need a win, but like this is it. His chance to get a win at Mania. His first singles match at Mania. It's his chance to get a win, and he did.
Yes.
Somewhat, not convincingly, but I think he put in more offense than people might have thought he would.
So let's go on from Cesaro's victory here. What would you rate it?
I think this is my one of the matches of the night for night 1. So I'm gonna give it a 8 out of 10.
Oh, okay. 8. I was brushing around a 7.
Lower now, aren't you?
Yeah, this is the thing. I was brushing around a 7. Our original plan was, listeners, that we were going to give the night as a whole a rating. Yeah. And then I thought about 10 minutes before we started that, maybe we should rate every match, because often we have the same opinions about things, and often we give things sort of similar ratings. I think this is better to give us, there might be a bit of a difference. Yeah. You're going high on this, I'm going slightly lower.
Yeah.
I'm going to go 7, just because it was just a singles match. I do like the emotional investment for both these guys, both these characters. They're really good workers. It was nothing surprising, but it was nothing surprising in a good way.
Yeah.
It was nothing surprising in a good way. In fact, I know both these guys can go. I know both these guys are good. I know they'll put on a good show. Easy as. Right, next up we have a tag team match.
Yes.
For night 1, we have a tag team match. Also, these matches are peppered by segments, advertisements, and one of these segments is one of your favourite women of SmackDown, Bayley.
Yes.
Now, a few weeks before WrestleMania, Bayley was pining to get a spot at WrestleMania. She was like on social media going, I'm the most important, I've got this little segment show I do because, ding dong hello and that type of thing.
Yeah.
And then WWE came out and said, we have no plans for Bayley at WrestleMania. And I just thought that was just so funny. And then I thought, there they go again. There they go again, saying that we're not going to give somebody a chance. But they did, those liars, those pesky rapscallions. They did have a plan. They had a plan for her to just be annoying and just show up in every backstage segment saying, hey, I've got this show, I think she showed up with like Eric Bischoff or someone as well.
On night 1, she turned up with the NWO, asking to see if they'd go on.
Yeah, Kevin Nash is there, and all the NWO and Hogan is there.
Yeah, Hogan's there in his NWO attire, so he's got changed.
Yeah.
Changed.
And she goes, you guys are great and all, but I'm better because I've got this show and I'm wearing 2 types of glasses on my head. And I'm wearing, you know what? Her outfits are really good. I like that sort of raincoat jacket she had that first night. She looked pretty cool, and I do like the 2 types of glasses on her head, as weird as it looks. She's wearing glasses and just has glasses on her head.
Yeah.
So Bayley gets a fun little segment. Next we've got is a tag team match for the Raw Tag Team Championships, and it is the New Day, which is Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods, against the team of AJ Styles and Omos. Omos is this tall, incredibly tall man, who is teaming up with AJ Styles, who is a slightly shorter man, which is a nice dynamic there. AJ Styles is like he's good at like your high flying moves, right?
Yeah, he is. Omos is also. This is his first match.
This is his in-ring debut. I forgot that.
He wasn't actually a wrestler. He was a bodyguard for Shane McMahon, I believe, at some point, and then AJ brought him in.
He was a bodyguard at Raw Underground, if you remember that.
And then, AJ brought him in, and this is his first match for the championship belts. And you know what?
And it is.
I think he did all right.
Let's just spoilers, obviously, listeners. But they win the belts.
Yeah, I think
we get a tag change. We get our first title change of the match.
It is. Yeah, you're correct.
Sorry, our first title change of the night. It's our first title change of the night. And the match, and the first title change of the match. So, yeah, it put on a good show. They keep Omos until the very end, and I was very interested by that, but I also knew where it was sort of going. Like, right, Kofi and Xavier swapping out, and AJ Styles is being the workhorse and going the longest, but Omos is going to come in like a wrecking ball and just knock everybody out.
Yeah, I mean it makes sense, right? You have this gigantuan man, and like
he really is. I don't know whether the camera adds a few inches or don't take that out of context. I don't know if the camera adds a few inches or if he's just really that tall, but crazy.
Yeah. So so you have a gigantuan man, and like he doesn't wrestle, so obviously it makes sense to have the actual wrestler wrestle, have this big man come in at the end, beat everyone up, get the pinfall, foot on the chest, dominant victory.
Yeah.
And just clean up, absolutely clean up. And you know what? For his first match, I don't know how long he's been training for or anything like that, but for his first match, I quite enjoyed it. I was quite invested in this.
Me too. I wanted to see some. I think the tag division, especially the men's tag division, is incredibly strong.
Yeah.
And especially the way it's going. So I'm happy to see a shift. I'm happy to see a change up. And in the stage of WrestleMania, it's the greatest place to do it.
Exactly. But yeah, so he wins. Omos and AJ new Raw Tag Team Champions. New Day are sadly defeated, but hey, they've won the belts. God knows how many times.
Yeah.
So it's not like we're probably not going to win them again. They will do. It's not the last time they're going to be champions. It's fine. They can bounce back. But I quite enjoyed it, and that's why I'm going to give it 7.5.
Oh, okay. I was going to go for a 6.
Ooh.
I'll go for a 6. I don't know. Just because I would have liked to have seen more of Omos. That's the only thing.
That's fair.
I'm not really. And I know I just said that. Oh, I like how they kept Omos until the end, and now I'm going back on it. But you can call me a hypocrite if you like. But I maybe I don't want to have seen more of Omos. Maybe I would have liked the match to have gone on longer. It's the shortest match of the night at only 9 minutes.
Yeah.
You sure they could have tacked on an extra minute just to give Omos that bit more of, I'm going to come in here and beat these guys up real bad?
True.
That's my only complaint. It could have gone on a minute longer or a couple of minutes longer, and that's it. So we come on to our my real match rating is a 6. Okay. Next we go on to the first gimmick match of the event, and it is a steel cage match with Braun, the train conductor Strowman, and Shane Money Mac McMahon.
Yeah.
Here comes the money.
I mean, WWE love their trains. Their train and
they love their trains. They love the choo-choo, the train conductor. Braun Strowman, he's the train. He has his cute little run. He runs around the ring and pushes people over.
But
he's the monster among men.
Because they couldn't, because they're in a cage. He can't do his little train thing in a cage.
No, but I like... one of the things I enjoy about a cage match is what you can do with the cage. Yes. You know, Kane very famously rips the door off the cage in his debut. Braun Strowman breaks the cage, rips the cage open.
Yeah. It's
to
very
get Shane McMahon. Shane's using toolboxes and jumping around. I knew this would be a cage. I told you when this match was announced, I said, it's going to be a cage match, isn't it? Or something like that.
Yeah.
Because Shane McMahon loves to jump off high things. That's his, he does a great coast to coast. He loves to jump off high structures.
Yeah, I mean,
so that's what they have him doing.
Yeah. Again, so like this match, Shane he's a wrestler, but he's not a full-time wrestler. So Shane has experience in the ring. He's wrestled before.
Yeah, people were saying
a lot.
People were saying that the lack of part-timers sort of held this down a bit. Like, WrestleMania is normally the point where you get your Goldberg, where you get your Brock Lesnar, where you get your Undertaker, where you get people who are part-timers, they call them. And that's what left people away from this slightly. But I thought, you know what? It's about time we give full-timers the stage and the moments they deserve.
Yeah.
So I was more than happy to see Shane being probably the only part-timer, or maybe just one of two part-timers on this night.
Yeah, so Shane's in there, and again, like Murray said, he's a very big fan of jumping off stuff. That's what he's known for.
Yes, he is. His big high-flying stunts.
Yes, and this whole storyline came because Braun is another big man in the land of the giants, and Shane was essentially saying he is dumb. He's saying that Shane is the brains and Braun is the brawn.
But yeah, he's calling Braun. He continues to call Braun an idiot.
Yes.
And saying, "Oh, you get bullied, Braun. You're a stupid man. I'm going to put a little cartoon of you up with like a dunce hat.
Yeah.
And I'm going to show a fake report card from your 6th grade where you got all failures because you're stupid and obviously you've not grown or something like that." It was quite strange and quite weird.
Yeah.
If we were rating the angle, I couldn't possibly give it minus reels because I really don't like how the big man shows vulnerability and the heel does ridiculous action in order to provoke big man.
Yeah,
that's in its base terms.
Yeah, storyline wise wasn't great.
The whole build up again. People were questioning the build up for this, and I have to agree by saying, yeah, the build up for some of these matches not the best.
No.
But the match itself, there's a different story.
I didn't mind it. It's your normal cage match, the running ring. Shane does a coast to coast. It ends.
Shane does a jump off the ring.
Yeah,
jump off the cage.
It ends up. Shane's climbing, and he's on the other side, and he's about to essentially win the match. And then he goes and puts his hand through the cage to wave at Braun, and then Braun grabs Shane's hand, so Shane can't jump off. He can't let go. He can't reach the floor. And then Braun's like, okay, well now where do we go? Because Braun can't let go because Shane's won. So and then that's where Braun essentially just grabs the side of the cage, rips the cage wall open, pulls Shane back in, continues to beat him up for like another few minutes, and then it ends up they're both on top of the cage. And it's not quite what everyone expected. Everyone's like, "Oh, Shane's gonna jump off. Here we go to Shane's big spot." Close. He instead gets chucked off the cage and lands flat on his back on the ring, which must have killed because it's not gimmicks. He don't fall through the ring. He just hits the ring.
Yeah, hits the ring hard.
And then Braun proceeds to go back in the ring and wins by pinfall, I believe.
Yes, I believe he does.
Doesn't even climb out the cage. He decides to win by pinfall instead.
Yeah, he defeats Shane McMahon and hopefully puts an end to this god-awful angle.
Yeah, the feud will be over. Don't worry.
Yeah, yes. Keep on doing your little dance in your sneakers, Shane, and wear your suits.
It's
and
fine.
Stuff like that.
He'll be back next year.
Yeah, I'm doing the dance now. You can't see it. I'm doing the wheel dance that he does. You know.
Yeah, but overall, it was okay. It was okay.
Yeah. So what would you rate it?
5.
Yeah. Okay.
I think this is about average.
We can agree. I'm going to go for a 5.
Yeah. It was good in some places, and it was okay in others. It was about average.
Okay. Now, let's move on to perhaps you can explain this. I mentioned that I felt like the Braun Shane angle didn't get enough time, or didn't get was a bit too short, was a bit too stupid.
Yeah.
But this angle got quite a bit of time.
Yes.
And it all began with the arrival of one Bad Bunny.
Yes.
The very famous recording rap artist. I could call it. Does he do rap?
More hip hop.
Or hip hop rap artist. Bad Bunny arrives on the scene. He's made a song about Booker T.
He did.
He performs that song, and afterwards, the Miz, who is sort of this very cocky, witty, snarky heel, comes over and is like, "Oh, you're not so big, Bad Bunny. I reckon I could take you." And initially, it was going to be a singles match between Miz and Bad Bunny, but then they turned it into a tag match with Miz's best friend John Morrison,
Yes.
and Bad Bunny's friend Damian Priest, who's just come up from NXT.
Yes.
And I want to talk about the match a bit more, because I'll sort of gloss over the fact that Miz and John Morrison made a music video with loads of dancing bunnies in it. And they also trashed Bad Bunny's car by writing stuff on it. And apparently that was Bad Bunny's actual car.
No, it is. That is his actual car.
That he sacrificed for this to be splashed with red paint and such. Normally, I don't like celebrities in wrestling.
Yeah.
I hated the whole Raw thing where they bring on a new celebrity every week to be a guest GM or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That was very very weird for me. Very very strange. I'm like, why are you bringing these people in who have nothing to do with wrestling? But Bad Bunny clearly wants to be here.
Yeah.
He wants to be here. He wants to do it. He wants to engage. He clearly loves this. He clearly is really excited. He can clearly do it, and yeah, I feel like he's right at home. If you look at the poster, for WrestleMania 37, WrestleMania 37. You look at the poster, he looks right at home with everybody. You know, he's wearing like a shield vest. He's got his sunglasses on. He looks like he could be a member of the roster.
Yeah. Yeah.
So let's get into the match. There's a bit of build-up. They antagonise each other week on week. Bad Bunny is, cracking wise and throwing insults and punching and slapping the Miz over and over again.
Yeah.
And the Miz is putting on his angry face, and John Morrison's trying to hold him back all the time. But now we actually get the tag team match.
Yeah.
So let's go over it. What did you think? First off, what did you think of Bad Bunny's performance?
This is the thing I wanted to talk about. This is the opposite, essentially, of the AJ and Omos match, because this is also Bad Bunny's first match. However, Bad Bunny starts off in the ring, and does most of the ring work. Weirdly.
Yeah, it's the opposite.
Yeah.
It's if AJ Styles kept Omos back, it's like Bad Bunny's keeping Damian Priest back.
Yeah.
Bad Bunny's like, oh, I'll take you on the Miz, I'll punch you, I'll keep punching. I felt like Bad Bunny was boxing for the first couple of minutes of this.
Yeah.
Bad Bunny had his fists up, he was like, bop, 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 bop. He was throwing those jabs out at the Miz. He hit a massive Canadian destroyer on the outside. He did like a splash or a frog or something like that onto him.
He did, yeah.
It was amazing to watch. I was like, wow, this guy really wants to do it. And this isn't like Snoop Dogg and AEW flatly dropping onto someone. This is Bad Bunny's clearly learned a couple of things. Yeah. So I love to see it. I love to see someone getting involved.
Yeah, it was good to see. It was good to watch, and it was definitely fun. He also gets his own entrance, which is great. Mm-hmm. His own Mania entrance. Essentially, it ends with Priest comes in, Bunny gets the tag, boom, tag, Priest is in, and then similar to the whole Omos thing, Priest is in and essentially just clears house.
Priest is in, clears them out. Miz, what do you think of Miz and Morrison?
I like them. I think they're great.
I do. I'm really happy with them as heels. They're always. What do they call Miz? They call him the hardest working man in sports entertainment or something like that.
Yeah. That is what I say.
The showstopper Miz. Yeah, he's always a A1 class heel. He's a real good. He's 100%. He's a fantastic heel. He works amazingly every time. So. Yeah. And also, the Miz can always make it work for his opponent as well. I like that. Not only as a heel do you raise yourself, you make yourself look good, you can make your opponent look good as well. And the Miz really made Bad Bunny look good, made him look strong. So I was very happy with that. I'm going to give this a very well deserved 8.
I was thinking 7.5.
Right, okay. You're kind of putting a wrench in my plan here, Corey. My plan to be, maybe if we rate every match, we'll have some differences. But at the moment, we're having quite a few similarities.
Well, maybe in this main event, we'll disagree. I doubt it.
Yes,
but
the main event. The main event is. I'm a bit tongue-tied this episode. It's just so exciting. You know, I'm feeling the hype. I'm feeling the energy of WrestleMania. So the main event is Bianca Belair versus Sasha Banks, and it is history making because it is our first 2 black women in a main event at WrestleMania, and where the crowds are back, the people are back. And everybody looked great. This was a stellar match. Let's go through it. Would you like to explain to the listener perhaps the build up to this epic confrontation?
Yes, this is more of a simple build up. I mentioned it before. Royal Rumble is a thing at WrestleMania. Is a thing that WWE does. Essentially, there's a men's and there's a female Rumble. If you win by surviving against 29 other competitors, if you're the last person in the ring, you get a shot at Mania, a title of your choosing. Bianca Belair won, and so she got to face her choice, and she picked Sasha Banks. Essentially, that's this whole feud. That's how this started.
They got into like a tag team together as well.
Yeah,
and Sasha Banks was messing about with a chap called Reginald. It was all jiggery pokery, but now we're here. Now we're finally here. And Bianca Belair's been on the main roster for a year.
She has.
And strangely enough, the graphics people I don't think recognise that. Because her whole gimmick, her whole stick, is she calls herself the EST because she's the best. She's the EST. Mm-hmm. She's the best. She's the strongest. She's the smartest. She's the toughest, etc., etc. Something that Corey's greatly annoyed by, aren't you?
Yes.
I'm calling you out, Corey. Were you prepared?
I expected it, to be honest.
Right, okay. Well, I think, for one, I'm really happy with Bianca. Yeah, sure, she spent a year or so knocking about on the main roster, going to Raw, going to SmackDown, going with Ruby Riott, going with blah, 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 fighting the Iconics, that kind of thing. But now she's really found her place. And I, for one, could not be happier. Because she looked so good in this match against Sasha Banks. She was doing her flips, she was doing her rolls, she was using her striking outside the ring, she was pulling off suplexes, she was pulling off everything. And Sasha, bless her, was doing exactly the same. This felt like a pound for pound, woman for woman match. And for a main event, it was blow your socks off type stuff. It was a rock your socks, and I couldn't be happier.
Yeah, it was good. It was a solid match. Bianca essentially not full on crying, but had tears before the match even started.
Yeah, she was emotional to start this match, and I was like, oh, she feels it. She feels the crowds are back. It's the main event. It's her and Sasha. It's what she's always wanted. The women's championship matches at WrestleMania always deliver for me.
That's fair.
Because the next when we go on to part 2, usually I have a lot to say about the next one, and it will all be good things. So, and this was all good as well. This was, for a main event caliber match, this really delivered for me.
Yeah, it was.
So let's just go through Bianca and Sasha. They're trading holds, they're trading moves. They're on the outside, they're on the inside. They're trying to climb the ropes. They're blocking each other. They're hitting drop kicks and suplexes and everything. They're pulling it all out the bag. Sasha's trying to get her signature submission, the bank statement in, but Bianca's finding a way out every time. Bianca has this very long ponytail that she sort of uses as like a whip and like a rope or something. It's really impressive to see. The finish was spectacular. Don't you think? The finish was absolutely great. Bianca hits that, hits the ponytail, just whips her right across the chest. That was so loud.
It was. I've heard reports that's actually piped in, but I don't know if it's true.
Really.
I've heard reports.
Oh, I can't believe that. No, don't ruin the magic for me, Corey. Anyway, she hits the
still real to me, damn it.
Sasha's like, and then Bianca hits the KOD, the Kiss of Death, as it was called in NXT. She hits the KOD on Sasha. 1, 2, 3. New SmackDown Women's Champion.
Yeah. And to be fair, it's a simple build, simple match, simple outcome, but that's all it needed to be. It didn't need like a flair, not literally a flair, not like Charlotte. I mean the other flair.
It's a simple build, but it's an awesome payoff.
Exactly.
And I think just like the other women's championship match, simple build, not too much to it, but awesome characters, awesome payoff, and it's easy as easy does.
I mean, I feel like you're gonna. I think.
I'm giving this high. I'm gonna give this straight away a 9. No questions asked.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're rating it higher than I would.
Okay, what are you gonna give it?
I'm torn between an 8 or an 8.5.
Right, okay. Go 8.5. Go on.
Yeah, right.
8.5. There you go.
You convinced me. 8.5.
And here we are. That is all of the matches.
Yep.
Do you think there was any? Let's go through our best and worst moments. What was your standout moment?
Okay, if we go standout moment, main event.
Main event, yeah, me too. Standout moment, I have to go with Bianca versus Sasha. But for the worst moment, I think.
I hate to say the women's tag team turmoil match, but.
Oh, I'm not going to go for that. I don't think. I'm going to have to go. I might go for Braun Strowman and Shane. So I really don't like that. I really didn't like that angle. I didn't think Braun should have been portrayed that way.
Yeah.
As this sort of, I'm a big man and I get bullied by this small man. You know, you're Braun Strowman. Get these hands. Why don't you just punch Shane's lights out? You know.
Yeah.
No, that's an issue for another time.
Exactly.
It's time for the weekly rec.
It's time for something you do enjoy.
Yes, and I have picked. I was deliberating hard on this.
Okay.
I was thinking, should I go for a past WrestleMania?
Mm-hmm.
Should I go for a pay-per-view maybe? I thought maybe if this gets good response on the real show, we'll go and we'll do another pay-per-view when it comes out. Or we'll go and do a past pay-per-view. Whatever you want, you know. Let us know somehow. We've got a YouTube, we've got an Instagram. Let us know. Tell us what you want to see. But I think I'm going to go for a brand that didn't get much representation at WrestleMania, but did get some representation during the two-night NXT Takeover Stand and Deliver. If you're familiar,
I am. I watched both of them.
I'm talking about NXT UK.
Okay.
And now, are you familiar with the WWE brand of NXT UK?
I am.
Now, it's probably the youngest brand. I believe it started out in December 2016.
Possibly.
I know it was newly minted. It was 2016. I think it's the youngest of the brands.
Yeah.
Yes, NXT UK. It was meant to be sort of a UK-centric, slightly more indie show, and it's still running today. We have two champions, Walter, who is just a huge man, and the women's champion is Kaylee Ray, who is a very intense hardcore female wrestler. So, yeah, both of these talents are amazing. They've had loads of people through their roster, and also I'm glad that they're not necessarily not piggybacking off of NXT, but they're like sort of NXT's sister brand.
Yeah.
Which I enjoy. You get NXT and you get NXT UK. They're sort of one and the same. So, and they're meant to be sort of more held around sort of the UK, US type indie scene. And it was many people's first starts. I know it was Tony Storm's first start, if you're familiar with Tony Storm.
I am.
It was many of the NXT girls' first start. I know a couple, and I know it was a couple of guys first start, like Pete Dunne. If you're a fan of Pete Dunne,
yeah,
he started off on NXT UK. So yes, I will give the NXT UK brand for my weekly rec. Go and check them out. They're in the most recent NXT pay-per-view. I will give them a quite worthy, quite respectable, quite honourable 8 reels.
There you go.
For NXT UK.
And there we have it.
And there we have it. There's this episode of The Real Show focusing on Night 1 of WrestleMania 37. And you can listen to Night 2 of WrestleMania 37, our review of it, on our YouTube channel, which can be found at The Real Show on YouTube. So go over there, and it'll probably be out by now. So go over there and give it a listen. And to end us out, we are going for Enemies by Shinedown, which was made in 2012 and was the theme to Monday Night Raw from 2016 to 2018. See you, folks.
Bye.